I transferred to a college back in Indiana, where most of the students lived on campus in the dorms. The cafeteria served 3 good meals a day, and the price was included in your tuition. But college students being college students, the snack bar also got a lot of business.
My thoughts were often on the other side of the world, and my grades started slipping. I did get good grades in one subject, the Old Testament as history. The class was required to graduate. The final exam in December counted as 50% on the grade, and 50% of the final exam was one question. What do you find inspirational in the Old Testament? Give chapter and verse and tell why. Well, I thought the question was unfair for 2 reasons. First of all, we had not talked about anything being inspirational all semester long. Secondly, it was way too important for the class grade. What if you didn't find anything inspirational in the Old Testament? Would you fail the class and thus not be able to graduate from college? I decided to find out. Nothing was my answer. It was marked wrong. This brought my grade down to a D, in spite of the almost straight A's I had been getting up until that point. I would have to take the class over in order to graduate from that college. I asked to speak to the counselor. The next day he took me to the snack bar, where I was surprised to find the dorm counselor and the dean of men, who was also a teacher of logic and philosophy. I explained my problem, and the logic professor, in an attempt to give me an easy out, asked, don't you find the story of Noah and the rainbow an inspirational story? And I tell him that I think that today's psyches can predict a rainbow. The dean says that's impossible. I take this as a challenge. Take a moment, I look down in the silverware and then predicted that there would be a rainbow visible from campus in 3 months at exactly 6:45 p.m. March 15th, 1963. I asked them if it happens, would they take me off probation? Well, there was a student close by who had been eavesdropping, and he asked, well, if there is such a rainbow, what should we do? I said, well, I believe the FBI keeps a list of such people with abilities like this, and you should probably tell them. I started living with the certainty that the rainbow would occur at that time. Also, with the stares and the whispers of the students. They took their toll over the next 3 months. As the date approached, my grade slipped even further. Even though the nurse took me to the doctor, the knot in my stomach did not get any better.
As the rain cleared in the evening of March 15th, I looked out of my room and saw students assembling in the quad to wait for the rainbow. It slowly grew to a full, complete rainbow over the gym at the very minute I predicted, then slowly faded away, but not before a lot of pictures were taken.
As I look out of my window from my dorm, the students are pointing first to the rainbow and then at me. I walked aimlessly Friday night and slept Saturday. Saturday night I drove in circles. Sunday, as I stood in line for the cafeteria, I tried to wake up. In front of me were a couple talking. They're all over campus, the boy tells her. In disbelief, she asked him, who are you talking about? The FBI, that's who. They must have heard about it. Somebody must have called them. She lowered her voice, have you seen them? Yeah, I've seen them. Men in black suits with badges. The whole J. Edgar Hoover thing, man. Everybody's talking about it. But why? She glanced round fearfully. Her boyfriend turned around and looked directly at me and says, well, ask him. He knows all about it. Luckily, she didn't. I ate and walked some more.
That night, I was still unable to sleep. I was emotionally spent, and I drove off into the night. When I got to a small town, I vandalized the filling station. Inside, I picked up the phone, but could not think of anyone to call. They picked me up, and I spent the rest of the night in jail.